Welcome to Turn a Page, the official comic book club for Nerd Initiative. Each week, the NI Bullpen will be covering the world of comics, talking to creators, deep diving into some fantastic stories, and much more. Now let's hand it over to the team and turn a page.
And no. Why are we doing this again?
What?
Okay, look, just because the King of Comics Kickstarter calls you on us yet again, and then I gotta go home and wear the freaking shirt. It's like Dance Monkey Dance. Like he hasn't even rubbed my lucky rabbit's foot yet, and then here we are. Gotta do.
Do you want me to?
We're live.
Yes,
we are. Hi.
Well, love the haircut.
When the King of Comics Kickstarter calls and says he's got time to swing by, the official comic book club for Nerd Initiative, known as Turn a Page, we always pick up that phone. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow us to introduce ourselves. My name is Ken M. You know me as the host of the ODPH podcast. I'm also Nerd Initiative editor-in-chief. To my left, your right. He already kind of stole the intro, but hey, we'll give it to him one more time because it's in his contract.
And at your live the ODPH studios. My name is Off the Cuff Tom, Nerd Niche's pop culture connoisseur, Ken Allen. Horus. It's always a pleasure.
Yes, indeed.
Yay! We're doing it. We're back.
We are back because I'd like I say, I want to say guest, but I mean, we've already established like Allen is another part of the team pretty much. He is here. He has residency. We give him mail. He keeps providing us hit after hit from such books as Pocus Hocus, Misfortune, Grandma Chainsaw, and then, as we alluded to, the Kickstarter sensation, which dropped today and is already making a lot of noise because the most badass bunny has returned to kick some you-know-what, because I can't drop that word just yet here on YouTube. One of the masterminds behind this book, along with Kit Wallace and Dave Lentz and Will Radford. Welcome back to the show, the one, the only, Allen Dunford.
Hey, everybody. How we doing?
Hi, everybody.
Allen, first and foremost, congratulations on the success of the campaign thus far. Smashing goal within, what, hours?
So we hit goal in 40 minutes.
And I didn't even put my money in yet.
Yes.
And then it's been crazy, man. It's been a upward trajectory ever since. Just people just showing their love for Horus. Like I don't know what else to say. Like it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a testament to what you and the team have done, because obviously this character has been winning over the audience left and right.
And Tom.
And Tom, yes, Tom, we know.
Only Tom.
Yeah. But to kind of walk us through what is going on, in case anybody has not signed up for the Kickstarter previously, what is Horus all about?
So Horus in Hell actually spawned from our first series, Pocus Hocus, that I was on here last time for pimping that one out. So Pocus Hocus follows the story of a magician who sold his soul to a demon to have actual magical powers. And inside of that world, he has a pink bunny that follows him around, and that's Horus. So we were just kind of milling it around, and people were like, we love Horus. We'd love to see like a little spinoff thing. We're like, yeah, sure. Whatever. We'll see what happens. So we went ahead and made an ash can, and they're like, oh, let's go and just turn it into a full issue. If it does well, awesome. We'll keep it going. If it doesn't do well, we'll end it in 2 issues. And now here we are. We're on issue 3.
Yeah.
And the love for this character has just been unreal, dude. And I think I've told you guys before, it's frustrating because it's one of those characters like we're kind of like, yeah, let's just have fun. Let's just be stupid. Let's not think too much about it. And then like with Pocus and like Grandma Chainsaw and the other stuff, we sat down and we're like meticulously figuring out, okay, these are our plot points. These are what we're doing. This is what this character is. And then Horus has been our most successful book.
Well, it's the one thing about the character, it's just it's so deceptive,
right?
That it's one that, much in like the same vein, I always kind of refer to as like Jeff the Land Shark with Marvel.
Mhm.
Like it's one that just wins you over on the outside. Then when you dive into the character, there's a lot of, much to enjoy there as well.
Yeah.
And to see how Horus has spun out of Pocus Hocus and the Pocus verse,
Mhm.
and now onto his own series, which I mean has just been absolutely wild to think about.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes to show how the audience is, letting you know how much this character is meaning to them, and to really see where they're going with this. I mean, it's phenomenal to watch, and especially every time the Kickstarter comes out, it's just getting larger and larger, and that's only bringing more eyes to more projects that you've done. So since Horus #2 and your last project, I mean, how soon was it that you and Kit decided to go like, okay, let's start planning this out. Let's really get going about this.
Well, first off, Caleb, you are the goat. So I guess we're a little farmhouse in here today.
Yes.
And no, shout out to Caleb. Caleb's a fantastic writer and a fantastic friend. But no, so with planning out Horus, you have to plan a pretty far ahead of time with Kit, because Kit is a very busy individual and a very in demand individual. So I'm very grateful that he even takes the time to consider doing anything for me. Right. And it's one of those things where I'm very grateful to be working with Kit. And he was one of the first, I guess, artist friends that I've made in comics, because he did one of my very first variant covers for Pocus 1. So like, it was cool to get someone of his caliber that actually responded back to me whenever I was first getting started. So I owe him a lot, and I always appreciate the work that he does. But yeah, man, to answer your question again, we have to plan pretty far out, because we've already talked about Horus 4, and whenever we want to go ahead and start that.
Yeah, and that's, like I say, that's very impressive to really plan out, because especially there's so much time in between when you initially start plotting out what you're doing to when you start really kind of going into the mode for it.
Mhm.
How much has changed, would you say, from 2 to 3?
I think, and this is going to sound stupid in a way, but it feels like it gets easier, because everyone gets more and more comfortable, because we know exactly where the series is going, and we just kind of want to unleash Kit, right? We don't give too many details. We don't give descriptions on what we really feel like we need, unless we feel like it's imperative to the story. But we just say, Kit, just go nuts, dude.
And that's just has to be so, for creators, like, so refreshing to say. Like, I'm trying to find a better word for it, but it really is, because you can sit there and not say you have to put it on autopilot by any stretch of the imagination, but when you have that rapport and you have that confidence and that trust between you as creators to really kind of let loose on it, I think it brings out the best of all parties involved.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, I mean, like I said too, I think even especially down to like the lettering, right? Like giving Dave freedom to just do whatever he wants to do on those pages, right? Like I think that's huge, and it's a mutual respect for everybody then.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Now, our friends over from the Bada Boom podcast are asking that they got, I got to go check out, the first 2 issues. Why don't you give everybody a quick little, catch up on the first 2?
Okay. So, God, what is this story even about?
It's about a demon running from hell.
Yeah.
Calls forth the legions and the armies of hell.
So, the story of Horus in Hell, summary for the first 2 issues. It follows Horus, obviously, who was accidentally plucked from hell because Pocus Hocus was trying to do a magic trick, and he opened up a portal to hell in his hat instead. So he plucks Horus, brings him to the world, and Pocus gets drunk one night and shows Horus that he wants to do the trick again. But in his drunken stupor, he accidentally leaves the portal open. So when he does, Horus kills a monster and then is brought into the hat, and is actually brought in by his brother Boris.
Yes,
very Boris. And then the only way Boris is going to let Horus leave is if he helps him with a mission that he's been tasked to do.
Yep. And that's where all the quote unquote wacky hijinks ensue. But it is an absolute riot. It is so fun and yet dark and twisted, but it plays into the whole Pocus verse. And when you think about what you started, I mean, from Pocus 1 to now, like the journey and how much it's really won over the audience. Like even now, sitting here and watching the Kickstarter campaign achieve the success that it has, which everybody watching at home or whenever you catch us on replay, click on that QR code in the corner. That will take you right to the Kickstarter campaign, so you can make sure you order your copies now. But to see where you've gone from then to now, I mean, how would you even describe that journey, like hitting it today?
It's surreal, right? Like, it's stressful to think about these things. So anytime we launch a Kickstarter, like I'm like, oh my God, is this enough? Do we have enough descriptions? Like, are we doing this? Are we doing it right? And it's starting to become more and more second nature, and it's cool to like build up trust and a fan base. Like it's weird to say that. And again, I think I told you this before, like in one of our many interviews together. But it's strange that my hobby is starting to mean something to some people, right?
Yeah.
Like the thing that I picked up during COVID to not go crazy during lockdown and stuff, right? And to really explore this creative juncture is now like the people are looking forward to whatever wacky ideas we're going to come up with next. And it's really cool to see that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I fully agree with you. I mean, just to even see the journey from issue 1 of Pocus to now, and the spawning of the Pocus verse, and all the characters that have come with it. I mean, it's a testament to putting in the work and making that connection with the audience, which I think in this day and age is so vital. That when you release a book, it's now an anticipated event because you put in the work, you've made those connections, and it's really now just sunk in. You know, like to them, they're like, hey, this is a book. I don't want to say it's like on the same level like when a Marvel movie comes out, but it is, but on a very smaller scale, you've now made that connection. The audience has built the trust with you that they know when they see a book that you're writing come out, it's an instant, let me go check this out at the very least. If not, go purchase copies.
And that's a huge shout out to the art team that agrees to do this. You know, Brian Belando and Kit Wallace, and of course Carrie on collars now. Like it's those guys too, and I always want to give them the props. Like Dave, Kit, Brian, Carrie, like they do the heavy lifting, right? Like because they're the ones that have to bring whatever's going on in my brain to life. And they do it beautifully. And I would not be talking to you guys if I didn't have them. And to Caleb's question, what other Pocus spinoffs are coming? We've actually talked about doing a demon spinoff series. Yeah, just kind of giving a little bit more on him, just because he's just a fun character. Like no one's really like clamoring to ask for him, but I think we can make it fun enough to where we could do something with him.
I mean, that would be an amazing series too. I'm still holding out hope. Horus versus the Dead Squad.
Yeah, I still, that's definitely still a thing. We got to find the right time for it.
Make it a backer bonus.
I know, yeah. Just do like a little 8-page story.
Yeah, like seriously, make it its own little ash can. Like here, you get this level or a stretch goal. There you go.
Yeah,
merchandising.
Merchandising.
But speaking of which, you know, you've already blown the goal out of the water. I mean, you're just inching at $6,000 right now.
Yeah, as of right now, this is our biggest campaign, day one.
Now, speaking of which, you have a 72-hour promo, the early backer box. Can you tell everybody like this is amazing? Like it's 3 figures, 2 covers, Kit Walls covers, covers A through D of issue 3, a hollow, and the mostly dead, your new book that's coming out, preview. But there's 3 little extras in here.
Yeah, I mean, why don't we do this? We could take a pause because I think there's a package you sent over that might be able to explain this a little better to the audience.
Somebody play the video.
Play.
So let's talk about this. Action figures?
Yeah, so that was something that we talked about for a while, and we didn't know when to strike on these, right? Because do you launch them with a series that no one is like super familiar with, right? Or do you do it at like the last issue that you're going to do in the series, right? Like when the hype's there, do you do it afterward? So it was a lot of back and forth, and we just decided to really like hone in on this. And I talked about it with Mike over at Bad Bug, and he was like, "Man, I think it's fine now. Just do it." So then we reached out, uh, and we had the 3D renders done. And as soon as we saw the 3D renders, that's like, this is it. Like I think now's the time. It feels right. They look good. In the initial testing of people that we sent it to in our focus group, it's like, yeah, this looks great, right? Like, would you get this? And then what you guys saw there was the demonstration of how the figures work. So heads are detachable, weapons are removable. So then you can change the different size faces and stuff like that you want. And it was about getting it right. Like these are heavily influenced from like the Disney Doorables, if you guys have seen those. So we initially thought, hey, let's do a blind box, right? But we decided, no, let's just do it this way, because this is going to be easier for everybody to understand what we're doing and why we're doing this, right? But no, man, it's they're awesome. Even like I said, even in the prototype video that everyone just saw, like they just move so fluidly, and they look great, and they have a lot of weight to them too, because they're not 3D printed, they're actually resin figures.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I was completely blown away when I saw him. I was like, wait, finally, because I mean, we've kind of put this in the world there, that we were hoping we were going to get something like this,
Mhm.
and now to see it to fruition, like, yeah, they're so detailed.
Yeah.
Too, and especially doing resin instead of 3, like, it's definitely worth the investment, especially for the collectability of it.
Mhm.
And it's an item that, yeah, you mean, you're listening to the fans talk about this, and they've said they wanted this for so long, and now we finally have it.
I think we need these on Play for Keeps just for a review.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Shameless plug.
I believe you need to talk to one cell phone wallet keys about that, but we can definitely shoot an email out after the show. But also with this, you have another project that is you're teasing a little bit.
Yeah. So it's a book that Kit Wallace and I are doing together. It's called Mostly Dead, and it's about a boy that is in an orphanage, who obviously he wants to bring his parents back, and one day he keeps hearing whispers of something coming from the library inside of the orphanage, and he finds the Book of the Dead, and he's going to use it to bring his family back. But as these things go, there's always a price to pay.
Yeah, and you sent over the trailer for it, so why don't we show the audience what this is all about?
There was a time when the boy was happy. This was not such a time. And so, the boy became a ward of the state. The orphanage would be his home. They told him he'd be safe. But he did not feel safe. And for a time, that would be life. Chores, class, discipline, day in and day out, month after month, until one day, the secrets behind these walls refused to stay silent. I would call out to the boy. Within my pages, he would find the power to bring his parents back. They could be a family again. Well, mostly.
Wow.
Let's go.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, so how soon were you thinking about doing animation videos for this?
Dude, we've had this done for about a year now. and we just haven't found a good time to do it yet. Especially like I said, from our Kit's so busy, and now this is a co-owned project that he and I are doing together, right? But no, Jared, he's done all of our trailers. He does everything for Bad Bug too. Jared at Prevalent Mind Studios is such an amazing, talented person. Not to be biased or anything,
No,
but that trailer, granted, I love the Horus trailer. So whenever we do show that, I love it. But the Mostly Dead trailer just hits a little different. I think that he really understood the assignment on that one.
I just gotta ask, looking at the book in there, are we going to get the Evil Dead reference? Klaatu.
100%.
My man.
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
And this is all available now for the Kickstarter campaign too.
Yeah.
Which,
So we just have the ash can on there. Just because, of course, we're trying to build it up a little early, get some extra funding for it before we actually do go to launch the whole thing.
Yeah, and for Kickstarter campaigns too, I know we've talked a little bit off air about this, but how important is the first couple days to a campaign in comparison to the last couple days?
I mean, like, God, especially like normally I would say, yeah, like the first like 2 days are like the most important, and like the last 48 hours are the most important, right? And then you have like your insufferable lull period where you're just watching paint dry, right? But so something that especially like Bad Bug is really honed in on this, and I took a page from that stuff and tried it out here. Doing like the early limited stuff really helps drive you up, especially like in the algorithm, right? Because you want to fund as early as possible, right? And doing the 72-hour boxes or the limited stuff, I think that's really what will like set you up for a good launch, and then hopefully set you up for people that are watching your stuff, set you up for a even stronger finish.
Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense, because especially we've seen the growth with Kickstarter campaigns, especially in comics, and to really see it's a challenge to really win the audience back over. But you and your team have definitely set the example, I think, because every time you drop a campaign, it's always something new, is always something exciting, and it's always something unique that is always released first and foremost. But it all goes back again to hearing the audience and listening to them. And just when you were coming on with this, the action figures, I think, were probably the biggest goal that we can imagine. But was there anything else that you were like trying to throw out there that like maybe we could pull this off, maybe we can't? I don't know, but like, what would you say would have been the biggest gamble?
The figures 100% was the gamble, right? Because they are not cheap to make. So like that to me like gave me a pit in my stomach, right? Because you never know how your book's going to do, right? Even though I think Horus is a great property, and people are very receptive to it, and they wear T-shirts of it on a live stream. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you just never know, right? How if it came out at the right time, was there something else that came out that definitely eclipsed it, right? But so we decided, like I said, with the toy thing again, we had a long conversation about those. But even when we launched, I was like, man, I hope we don't just sell one, because I can't just buy one when you do all the processing, right? So you got to commit to it. So it's like, well, here we go. And lo and behold, it's done really well so far.
At this point though, what's it feel like having done so many Kickstarters and now seeing that, you've not only hit but exceeded? What's that mean for you as far as, backing it up? Like, are you just going to go, okay, I'm on autopilot for the next 20 days?
Yeah, no, I wish. I'm going to stress about it more probably. So it just looking at it, and then now we're in the phases of the stretch goals, right? So we have a holofoil card that we're working on. We are implementing Horus in the Bad Bug tarot card line, so we're going to have a tarot card Horus on there too for one of the stretch goals as well.
Okay.
So now we're
hard could he be?
Yeah. So now we're just making sure that we deliver on that part.
I'm trying to go through my tarot in my head and trying to figure out what card he could be.
whatever your answer is, I don't know if it's right or not because we haven't decided yet, but he will be on there.
He'll be that one, and I'll like it.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect. Yeah, there you go.
I love it already.
Well, I mean, it's just like I say, it's another benefit about listening to the audience and really giving them something different too. And especially now with Horus 3, I think we should definitely play the trailer for the audience to let them get an insight about what's going on. Then we can do a little deep dive about that.
Yeah.
And now for my next trick. A rabbit from a hat.
I was going to say, for everybody that's laughing at Horus, I don't think they realized what they were doing.
Who is this?
Yeah.
Jared William Daw. I
Yeah.
offered myself up as sacrifice to do the voice. What the heck?
Yeah. So Jared, again, Prevalent Mind Studios, he's done great.
Fine.
Yeah.
In-house. I get it. I see how it is.
Yeah.
But for Horus 3, especially for where you're taking the character, do you want to tease a little bit about issue 3?
Yeah. So of course, issue 3, it's all a linear story. But you see it in the preview pages. We have 4 preview pages up on the campaign. There is they have to go through a underground city in hell, and they're trying to find the Leviathan layer, right? Because the Leviathan layer is the thing that is housing the instrument that we need to go ahead and take back, right? And we're going to run into another companion that may or may not be a blue bunny, that may or may not already know Horus and Boris.
This I like.
Yeah. So I think people are really going to like this character.
I mean, definitely intriguing to say the least. And now, I mean, you've covered a few different genres as of late with your writing.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously we know about Horus, Misfortune, which is out on Global Comics as well. Grandma Chainsaw, what, and countless others too. The Herald. I mean, you put in a lot of work. What has been your favorite genre to work on as of late?
Comedy horror, I think. I've just been having so much fun with it. So like Final Girl Next Door, that's with Bad Bug. That one has been a blast to do. Oh, hey, Lava Drake. And I saw your comment about cleaning up the room behind me, and it was clean, and then Christmas ended. And then now, we just threw all the decorations down here, so I have to still go through them. So mind your business.
I was gonna say you're too hard at work.
I know. God, yeah. I got my piss jugs down here. I can't even go to the bathroom. Yeah.
all the dedication for us.
Yeah. I'm kidding.
Craft, man.
Yeah. But I don't even remember what the question was now. I got distracted by it.
About your favorite genre that you've been working on.
Yeah. Comedy horror. Yeah. It's just been because, movies like The Evil Dead, right? Things like that. Growing up watching that. It's so much fun just to be able to have like your dark sense of humor and then implement it with just violence and just be able to try to tell it just a fun, crazy story on top of it, because that's when we get to really like have your imagination kind of go wild, right? And Horus, it's a lot of different things, but there are horror elements in it too. And we get to have dark humor in it, right? Especially the banter between Horus and his brother Boris, right? Because you could tell they just can't stand each other, and they're very bland with each other. So yeah, I think doing stuff like that has just been so much fun because it's let me like really stretch my creative wings, so to speak. And yeah, we hit over 6 cages now. So
all right, let's go.
Yay!
Man, I thought I was going to be the guy that was going to do that.
I know
Okay.
Tom's here.
Okay.
He's buying as we're on live, folks. That's how much we're supporting the brand.
Yeah, buy online. Yeah, no, that's crazy. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, this is nuts.
So after Horus, what's next? Well, like what whether it's the next Horus story or the next book, what is lined up for Dunford and the team?
Okay, so we're still working on Beneath the Lighthouse. We're trying to find that one's ready to go. We're looking for a good time to launch that in between everything. Of course, Pocus 7 is down the pipe too. But Horus 4 is one that we're in heavy development on, just because Horus 4 is going to close out this chapter, right? And that's when we're going to get our Horus in Hell Trade Volume 1. So we're really excited to see what we come up with that. And then if everything goes well after Horus in Hell 4 ends, we're going to start the next series, which will be Horus in Heaven. Which I think that one's just going to be wild with the stuff that we've talked about doing with that. So yeah, I mean, and then the other stuff that we have coming up too, like working on Death Knell with Bad Bug and Final Girl 2. The illustrations already been started with that. Kit's drawing that book as well. And then of course, Mostly Dead. It feels like there's just, like, when I think about it, I'm like, oh, I don't think we're really doing a lot. And then like when I stop and think about it, I'm like, oh my God, there's so much.
Yeah.
What I have coming up. How am I even going to do this? Herald 2's been finished for a while. So we're figuring out when to launch that now too. So it's a lot.
It's good problems to have, though.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there's another chapter of Misfortune coming out too.
I was just going to say, I was meaning to ask you about that, because obviously that came out right around the holiday time.
Yeah.
And that was your first real kind of dip into, I would say, superhero comics with that one.
Yeah. This one's very superhero leaning. And luckily the production company that reached out to me for it, they listen to what I have to say, because we really blended occult stuff with it. So it's not a traditional superhero or traditional anti-villain. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like to use the phrase anti-hero, but it's kind of in that genre to a degree, but it's not, when you think of traditional quote-unquote anti-heroes, yeah, I would say Misfortune is not exactly there, but kind of teeters around there.
Yeah.
There's elements. But it goes to show about the influence you're getting, because, I mean, you've done comedy and horror, you've combined them so well that, yeah, to kind of spread out and sprinkle that into a different genre, I think does help, because we do see the variations of superheroes too, from your Captain America's, Supermans to your Deadpool, Wolverine, Punishers. It's kind of like, one end of the spectrum or not. And then you have like Misfortune, which kind of leans depending on where the situation takes them.
Yep.
So I think when that kind of plays out, I think that really works well for the audience too.
Ken, I need you to do me a huge favor.
Okay.
I need you to check your cell phone and then show it over to Tom, please, if you could.
We're doing things.
Live, folks. Oh boy. All right, Tom, do not scream in my ear here.
We just got the tarot card.
The tarot card just came out.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I will respect it and not hold it up on camera.
Yeah. It's sick, isn't it?
The tarot card. Not to tease the audience anymore, but that's why we keep emphasizing, click on the QR code.
Yeah.
Sign up for the campaign. Because the tarot card, if you are into that, it's definitely
that'll do.
Be worth the time alone. Like, can we just say that is something? Let me take a couple questions from the chat. Chat is lighting it up right now. I love seeing this. All right. So Jay Burns is asking, when are we getting figures of the team? I need them to sit on my desk.
Oh God, you don't want that. I'll just silently judge you all day.
I want Boris. I mean, in Russia, you don't get figure gets you.
So then let's see. Lava Drake is chiming in about plus the live action Pocus miniseries Netflix just purchased for you to 25 million.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, especially with how, like, Jared, the way he animates trailers, like whenever we watch that happen, it's like, man, I would love to see this come to life in some way, right?
Now, I was saying to Ken before we got on, there's something about Hocus that really reminds me of an old video game my wife and I played about a decade ago on PlayStation 3 called Death Spank. And it's just that big. Yes, exactly.
Okay. All right. Yeah, man. Whatever.
Exactly. You're picking up on it just because I said the name, because it's that, hey,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
here, it's camp, it's horror, it's all
Mhm.
together. And honest to goodness, if I mean, I know the company's not doing anything, but if you could develop a dungeon crawler style game with horror.
So what I wanted to do with Horus was we talked about it before. I want to do like a classic Castlevania side scroller.
Okay, I could
Yeah.
see that.
That's what I really wanted to do with Horus.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just him going through hell. So
All
I just thought it'd be kind of cool to do something like that.
I know. I'm just seeing one little Horus and a big, huge Metroidvania screen.
Yeah.
So that's a big problem. And then you have to flip the capsule upside down. No.
Yep.
All right.
These are references Ken does not get.
No, but I respect it though. My gaming is in the neighborhood. It's not fully in the ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hydra Asylum Comics is Alan. Is there a genre that you haven't explored that you want to write a story for yet?
Rom-com.
Man, what would I want to do? I was gonna say like I'd like to really try superhero, but I kind of get that itch now scratched with Misfortune. But
Mhm.
I don't know. I think maybe writing just a traditional action style, right? Like my dream would be to one day like be able to write a Batman issue. I think that'd be sick. But I think just doing like a fun, just straight up true action comic, just to kind of see what it'd be like, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, just like someone would have to definitely like, rein me in a little bit probably, but I mean, I get it.
With the way comic books are nowadays, man, it takes all types. So you
Yeah.
might just look out. I mean, here you go. Hey, BC, the freak.
Yeah.
I mean, Alan could do freak easily.
I mean, there's a lot of possibilities you could do, especially there is one thing on this campaign that caught my eye. It's fun to unalive people crossover covers.
Yeah.
So that being said, you want to speak a little bit about that, and does that mean we're going to have Horus crossing over to other books?
No, so this was so I reached out by Anthony Stokes, who wanted to do a crossover cover or a connecting cover where we just have, once you put them together, then that way you can just have like this nice beautiful picture together. And it was just kind of a cool way to just share the love in the indie comic scene, right? Like, because he has his campaign running, I have mine, and it's just kind of just like a cool thing to do together.
No, that's cool. I mean,
You got the chocolate and the peanut butter.
well, it's a matter of combining, the community over competition, which I think is always key.
Yeah,
You know,
100%. Yeah, well, I want everyone to succeed together,
Yeah, and I think that definitely works in that sense.
Mhm.
Because I was going to say, if you were planning on that, who would you have Horus cross over with if you could write the perfect scenario? Because I have one in mind.
Do we need to break it down by like genre so we can kind of narrow it?
Well, who's yours?
All right, well, super chat. If you want to see Horus cross over with somebody, I want to see your picks in the chat here too. Mine is simple: Lobo.
Dude, that'd be so good.
Lobo and Horus just running around doing, Lobo and Horus things.
Yeah, that'd be great. God, now it makes me think of like Horus and like the banter that he could have with Ghost Rider. Stuff like that. Or hell, even Deadpool.
The pedestrian.
Ooh.
That's good.
That'd be a real good one.
Like the dichotomy that you'd have right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, that would be out
Oh,
of
Mike killed it. Mike has the answer.
Oh, Hellboy? Yes.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, we have a
I know.
Hellboy inspired homage cover. Like,
Yes,
I don't know, it was right there.
Yes, I was gonna say, and even for the covers too, you have a great selection for this go around too. Like I say, no matter where you go to pick up your copy here, like there is just something for everybody here. And I think it really covers all the bases as well.
Luckily, I'm
Yeah.
getting all of them.
I'm getting every one of them. Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, we always try to be selective and be creative with our cover artists, because especially with the variant cover, we want to give variety, right? And and I'm always so thankful for all the people that reach out to us who want to work with us, and it's great just to see that, especially this love for this little pink bunny.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's definitely winning everybody over left and right, no matter where you see him. So that being said, Alan, I mean, you teased a little bit about what you have coming up for the rest of the year. Any final thoughts if you have to fully convince somebody at home why they haven't clicked on that QR code yet, why when they watch this on replay they're going to want to check it in the liner notes and go hit this as soon as they hear this episode?
Because Tom is a very harsh judge of character, and if he's willing to wear a T-shirt with a pink bunny on it, you have to know the book's good.
Dude, I love the book. I just love it. Okay, so I have worn this down to the local veteran drinking hole, and the side eyes I almost got him. I almost and the side eyes that I get make it all the worthwhile.
Yeah.
If you only knew this book and you only knew this series, it's perfect.
No, I mean, for real, if you guys are a fan of, just wild, crazy, hellacious stories with a Saturday morning cartoon twist on it, I would just ask you to check it out and just give it a chance. I think that there's going to be something in this book series for everybody. And this is the one series that we have, and it's been so meaningful. And this might sound like, I don't know, it might sound stupid or sentimental or whatever, but it's crazy because every time we have a Horus campaign end, after we ship the books out, I always get a message from a couple different parents that say they read this book to their kids or their kids love it. Like,
it's amazing.
It makes me like, you know what I mean? Okay. But like, we're writing this stuff. We're like, man, this is pretty violent. And then they're like, hey, my kid loves this book so much. We thought it was so funny. And I'm like, all right.
I mean,
you're my people. Yeah,
you're causing family time, causing family bonding.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting kids to read.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you're real.
I mean, it's weird how much that means, like getting those messages, right? So yeah, it's cool.
It all goes back to connecting with the audience, and I think that is something that you'll hear me say probably in every single interview I do with you, because I feel that you really know how to connect on that level. Because as we always say, we always start out as fans first. But I think that no matter where you've gone with your journey, especially creating, you've never lost the fan in you.
Oh,
and not saying anybody else hasn't, but I'm saying like you especially, and getting to know you, like you've always been a fan first, and you always keep that same energy, no matter if a Kickstarter campaign shatters a goal first day or comes out slow, no matter what, you've always had that mentality. And I think that's one thing that carries you through your projects.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, I got to keep a good headspace, and, I always tell myself, stay humble every day. Right. Because, this is still just so new to me, and I know that I wouldn't be here without great people like you guys. Everything that Nerd Initiative's done, Hydrocylon Comics, everything Bad Bug's done. Like, it's just there's just so much like to be thankful for in this, and I just want to just give that positive energy back. Right.
Yeah, because I think now more than ever, we all need as much positivity in the world as we can get.
Always.
Can I throw this one out here since Horus 4 is on it? Can we call it the 4 Horuses of the Apocalypse? Too much.
He just left. you made him that mad.
I was trying to find the right button to make sure I accidentally didn't leave.
That was incredible. I was gonna say I got 2 quick questions and then we'll wrap things up. Jay Burns, when is Ivan getting his own series, Alan?
No one wants that. All right, next question.
Silent Comics. Speaking of bunnies on a shirt, any chance of another run of the original Horus shirts?
Yeah. So we're actually, oh gosh, you know what's more or just as expensive as figures?
T-shirts.
Good quality T-shirts.
Yes.
And like everything we do, we want to make sure that we have excellent quality. And whenever it comes to excellent quality, we have to order in bulk. But yes, to answer your question, the original Horus shirts actually came out issue 2 of Pocus Hocus. Yeah. And it's Horus sitting on top of an eyeball.
Yep.
And Kit drew that, and it was great. We used it, and I think we launched it maybe for the first Horus again. But yeah, we'll definitely we'll probably bring it back for issue 4. So because we want issue 4 to be a big thing, you know what I mean? Like it's a celebration of everything that the team's done, because it's going to be the first trade for Horus 2. So we just want it to be, I don't know, something special. So yeah.
And I think you're completely on the path for it, because wherever you're watching or wherever you're going to hear this episode at, Allen and his team really, really put in 110% of what they have into every single book they do. And it is not just a shilling statement, I guess, if you will. It is really based on picking up their books, getting the quality through the creativity, through the production, through the incentives. It's really a worthwhile investment to support him in what he is doing. There is no question about this. There's no doubt. There's no, other than being somebody that's had the fortunate pleasure of purchasing them and supporting in that manner. Yeah, you get your money's worth and then some. And this is why you see these books explode on first day, like we have with Horus in Hell. And I can only imagine where we're going in 2025. It's only going higher from here.
Yeah, I mean, we're only like 3 weeks in.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, if you think where you're at right now, just imagine we're going to be talking in December.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. There's a lot of crazy stuff coming up. Probably.
He has resonance.
Yeah, probably.
He's got tenure at this point.
God.
I think for the intro, we're just going to have to just have you in a square in the corner.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine. I'll just do that. That's
cool. We'll replace the turn of page logo. We'll just put your picture up there.
Yeah,
So like
give him like a little Max Headroom thing.
Yeah, just have me just.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
We're gonna make that happen.
We're gonna screen grab that tonight.
Yeah. Allen.
No, guys, I appreciate you. The pleasure's always on mine. And I always say this for anyone watching. Ken, Tom, you guys are more than welcoming, and just you guys have always just been so fantastic, and the whole Nerd Initiative crew, I have nothing but incredible things to say. They are as genuine on screen as they are off screen.
Thank you.
I appreciate the kind words, man, as always. So that being said, we're just gonna put it out here. That QR code is up for a little bit longer. It is in the liner notes of this episode, so wherever you're going to get it on podcast form via ODPH or Nerd Initiative YouTube, make sure to click on it. Make sure to support it. Make sure to share it. Let Allen know that you are supporting this, and let the world know, because we want more people buying Horus in Hell #3.
And don't forget the 72-hour exclusive. All right.
Yes.
2 days left, folks. All right.
Because I promise you, I will get messages saying, "Hey, can I still get this?" And I'm like,
"No."
We had to put a limit on it, because there's a lot that comes in that thing.
There is. So we're gonna make sure we make an emphasis of it. We'll have to
Oh,
talk.
Jay Burns backing now. All right.
Yep, backing now. I said there's a few chats in here, or a few comments in there saying they're backing. So be like the cool kids. Back this project. Allen, is always a pleasure, and we can't wait to have you back on later.
Yeah, I'll see you guys in a month.
All right. That being said, on behalf of Tom and myself, we'll end it like we always do here on Turn a Page. When you're at the comic shops and you have a great issue in your hand that you picked up off Kickstarter, known as Horus in Hell #3, and you see somebody struggling to find something, hand yours off to them. Tell them to turn a page. We'll see you next time.
I'm out.